So yun yung mga trap question. So how the examiner traps the question? Discuss ko na ito, ulitin ko lang para at least makita ng iba. So how the examiner trap the questions? So here, for example, always identify the appraisal problem. So if you don't know what is being valued for the purpose and as of what date or any computation that follows is like meaningless. So the PRBLS expects you to think like an appraiser and not a calculator. Hindi ganun mag-isip ang mga PRB or mga examiner natin. Many wrong answers come from the jumping straight directly agad doon sa mga formulas without first defining the assignment or the valuation definition and then the purpose. Here, like for example, here, what is the correct answer for this kung inyo pong an appraiser is engaged to determine the value of the vacant parcel of land located in rapidly developing commercial district. So the client states that the valuation is needed for potential bank loan application. So the question here is, without discussing the purpose of the appraisal, the intended users or the type of the value required, the appraiser immediately applies the sales comparison approach based on the recent land sales in the nearby area. So which of the following best explain why this approach is a premature? So what is the correct answer here? Pakiano nga sa chat box kung paano nyo i-deal ito. Sir, pwede ba kayo po ng materials? Letter B. So, malimit po kami naglalagay ng mga soft copy sa GC po. Okay? So, yan yun. So, for here, the question is, pertains daw dun sa explain why this approach is premature. The correct answer for this is letter B. Kasi, why it is letter B, before choosing the appraisal approach, the appraiser must first establish the appraisal problem. So by identifying the intended use, ano ba intended use, type of the value, the relevant property characteristics, and the assignment conditions. Okay, so why B is the correct? So the appraisal process requires the appraiser to first define the appraisal problem by identifying the key assignment and the elements. So what are the elements for this question? Is intended use for the appraisal, intended users, type of the value. Now, why the others is incorrect? Bakit mali yung letter A? Vacant land should always be valued using the cost approach. Because the cost approach is not automatically preferred for required method for the vacant land. So in fact, the sales comparison approach is often considered a highly reliable for vacant land when sufficient comparable sales exist. Yung sa letter C naman, the sales comparison approach cannot be used for a vacant land kasi the sales comparison approach is commonly used and often preferred for valuing. Nakapasok na si Attorney Dimko Jovelyn kasi nagre-reflect pa dun sa sa screen. So, nakapasok na, no? So, yun yung pinakampaliwanag niya. And aside from that, yung the highest and best use analysis is only required after the valuation is completed. So, kaya mali yung mga ibang question. How about for this number 2? Ang sinasabi niya is, not all the approaches always applicable. Di ba we have 3 approaches? So, hindi daw laging applicable yung 3 approaches. So, the correct answer is often the most appropriate approach. So, usually, the examiners or the PRBLS deliberately test whether you know when approach should not be applied. Then, like here, the example here, siguro alam na ito ng iba, an appraiser is commissioned to estimate the value of a single detached, owner-occupied residential house located in the purely residential subdivision. Now, the property has no rental history, and similar properties is in the area are typically owner-occupied. So which valuation approach is the most appropriate to give primary weight to in this assignment? So, di ba? What is the correct answer for this? Iisipin natin lagi. So, what is the correct answer for this question? So, yung ibang taga-audit, medyo alam na ito eh. So, how about this? So, we need to recap kung ano ang tamang sagot for this question. Okay? So, for this question, the correct answer is letter C. So the sales comparison approach, considering the market behavior of similar. So why is letter C? Diba? The sales comparison approach is generally given primary. Kasi kung iisipin ninyo, ang sabi niya dito kasi is ano is to estimate the value of single data as owner occupied. So parang dinitirahan siya ng may-ari. So the sales comparison approach is generally given primarily weight. Kumbaga parang ito yung mas priority niyang approach na gamitin compared from the others. So when valuing the owner-occupied residential properties, because it reflects how buyer and seller in the market make purchasing decisions. So in this scenario, in the given question, the property is owner-occupied, and comparable residential properties are commonly bought and sold into the market, and there is no rental history. Sufficient comparable sales are likely available within the subdivision. So since the market participants is the primarily rely on comparable sales when determining what they are willing to pay for similar the homes. So here, bakit mali yung letter A, income? Kasi 'di ba parang kapag sinabing single detached tapos commission pa siya ng to estimate the value of a single detached, so parang nag-iisip ka ng income capitalization approach because all the properties have a potential income. So parang yun agad yung may isip natin. But hindi siya applicable kasi although any property could theoretically generate income if rented, so the income capitalization approach is most appropriate for the properties that are typically purchased and for the income producing and for potential such as yung mga building apartments, office building, mga retail properties, doon siya pumapasok. Kaya income capitalization approach siya. Pero in this given fact, hindi siya applicable. How about the cost approach only? Because residential properties are always new, di ba? So parang ang pagkakasabi kasi ito is purely residential subdivision, and then house located in the purely residential subdivision. So here in the cost approach is not applicable because residential properties are not always new. Diba? Hindi siya laging bago. Many homes have a experienced depreciation due to the age, the wear and tear. We have also the functional obsolescence or the external factors. So in this given scenario, while the cost approach may provide the useful support, particularly for the newer homes or the special purpose of the properties. And from letter D naman, all of these approaches with equal weight given to each are incorrect also because the appraisal standards do not require all valuation approaches to be applied in every assignment. So kaya siya mali. Okay? So yan yung common trap examinations parating sa not all approaches are always applicable. Okay? Look to the most probable na pwede nating i-apply. Kaya may mga trap question na ang unang perception sa pagkabasa mo sa question is yun na agad income to, parang ganyan. But you really you did not tawag dito, di ka nagkaroon ng critical thinking or analysis doon sa question kung ano yung hinihingi niya. That's why hindi lahat approaches ay pwedeng i-apply. So you have to choose kung ano yung pinaka-probable na pwede may apply na approaches doon. So for this another scenario naman, reconciliation is a professional judgment and not averaging. As I discussed yesterday, di ba? Yung mechanical averaging, kailangan dapat bilang appraisers, nagkakaroon tayo lagi ng professional judgment. So in this given scenario, what is the question here? If the option says that the average of the three approaches eliminate it immediately. So reconciliation requires weighing the reliability and relevance of its approach based on the property, the data, and then the purpose, and never the mechanical averaging. So for example, like this, parang pag nakita mo yung figure, parang you have to subtract, you have to do some mathematics, but kasi nga given yung figure, given yung value, without thinking kung ano talaga yung hinihingi ng questions. So the question here is, which of the following is the most appropriate way to reconcile the value? The question is reconcile. Okay? Kasi parang naisip mo na agad yung given yung yung sales comparison may value, may figure yung income, may cost. So nag-iisip ka na agad kung ano yung dapat mong computation na gawin, but you did not read the question carefully or thoroughly kung ano yung hinihingi. Then to reconcile the value indications and arrive at the final opinion of the value. So for this question, the correct answer for this is letter C. Why? Kasi letter C, give the greater weight to the approach supported by the most reliable and relevant market data. Kasi given yung data. So reconciliation is not always a mathematical averaging exercises. The appraiser must evaluate the quality, the reliability, and relevance of the data and analysis used in each valuation approach. Like here in the scenario, the income capitalization approach is supported by reliable rental market data. Okay? And the cost approach, less reliable because the cost information is outdated and limited. While the sales comparison approach provides useful market evidence but may not be as directly indicative of the value for an income producing or mixed use properties in the income capitalization approach. So therefore, the appraiser should place greater weight on the approach supported by the strongest and the most reliable market evidence rather than treating all of the approaches equally. Okay? So like yung letter A, calculate the simple average for all the three value indication. Yun ba agad yung iisipin natin? Kasi naisip mo may mga figures, may mga value which is incorrect. Averaging assumes that all approaches are equally reliable, which is really in this case. So the appraisal reconciliations requires professional judgment regarding the data quality, the applicability of the approach, the reliability of the assumptions, and then the relevance of a market participants. Because in the cost approach is based on the limited and outdated data, giving it equal weight. And for letter B naman, select the highest value indication because it represents the greatest economic benefit. No, that is not correct because the objective of the appraisal is to develop the credible and supportable opinion of value and not to maximize the value for the client. Now, choosing the highest indication solely because it is the higher ignores that the reliability and then the relevance of underlying data and could result in a biased valuation conclusion. Kaya mali yung sagot ng letter B. How about yung letter D? Adopt the sales comparison daw. No, because there is no rule that the sales comparison approach must always receive primary weight. Kumbaga parang hindi siya yung pinakang primarily na pwede mong pagbasihan. So the importance of any valuation approach depends on the type of the property. So it depends on the intended use of the appraisal and it depends on the market behavior. So the availability and reliability of the data. For a mixed use or the income producing property, the market participants often place significant emphasis on income generating capability. So given the strong rental data available, the income capitalization approach may deserve greater consideration than the sales comparison approach. So kaya ang tamang sagot for this question is yung letter C. Okay? What is the key point? Bakit tama ang sagot niya? The key point for you to remember is reconciliation is a qualitative process and not a mathematical alone or the mathematical one. So that's why the appraisers should place the greatest weight on the valuation approach that provides the most credible and indication of value based on the quality, quantity, and reliability. So yan yung reconciliation is a professional judgment, it's not averaging. How about this one? Sabi nila, why not use is important as use, 'di ba? Parang ito kasi yung part bilang tayo mag-e-exam, no? Meron tayong tinatawag na honest to goodness. Bilang mga appraisers, compliant appraisal explains both the inclusions and the exclusion. 'Di ba pag gumagawa tayo ng mga reporting sa mga report natin sa ating valuation reporting, nilalagay natin doon bakit hindi siya applicable para may due diligence, tapos ito lang dapat yung applicable. So parang honest to goodness, hindi ka lang pwedeng mag-rely on sa isang approach lang o sa isang bagay lang. Kailangan meron tayong transparency. So usually the examiner or the PRB test the reporting concept. So alam nyo dapat yung reporting concept. Siguro nabasa nyo na yung valuation process, no, kung paano gumawa ng report, the 7. Actually, may lumabas dyan during our time. Mamaya discuss natin. So especially yung reporting concept, especially the requirement is to explain why certain generally recognized approaches were not applied consistent with the valuation reporting standard. So bakit hindi na i-apply itong approaches na ito, bakit ito lang? So you need to have di ba yung narrative reporting natin, it's a comprehensive, another words for narrative is the comprehensive reporting. Sometimes you need to tawag dito, maging transparent ka, ilagay mo doon bakit, 'di ba? Tapos meron ding dapat. So 'di ba may mga kapag gumagawa tayo ng mga yung mga desk review, field review, so dapat may alam niyo na 'yon, yung mga desk review, admin review, so alam niyo dapat 'yan. So yung mga ganung bagay. So this means that it emphasizes the intentional exclusion that really matters. So kung ano man yung tinanggalan mo doon, it really matter para alam ng client, nagkaroon ka ng due diligence sa kanya na hindi mo siya talaga nilagay. So that is very important. So like here in the example, an appraiser prepared a valuation report for a vacant residential lot intended for the sale. So in the report, the appraiser applied the sales comparison approach and concluded the value. So doon na siya tumigil, but made no discussion of the cost approach and income approach. So which is the best describes the adequacy of the appraisal report? So what is the correct answer for this scenario? Kung iisipin natin, di ba? Parang in this case, nagkakaroon ka ng disclosure, yung mga disclosure, undisclosed informations, di ba? So this question, usually the correct answer is letter B. Because in the examiner perspective, yon yung mga taga-PRB rest na yan, mga taga-PRB rest na yan, a compliant appraisal report does not only explain what the valuation approach was used, but also why the other generally recognized approaches were not applied. So you need to disclose, di ba? Even when the sales comparison approach is clearly the most appropriate, the appraiser must still demonstrate professional judgment by explaining the exclusion of the other approaches. So failure to do so weakens transparency and prevents the reader from fully understanding how the valuation conclusion was reached. So hindi mo siya dinisclose. Yun yung ibig sabihin lang sa part na ito. Kaya kung babasahin yung mga question, you need to kasi ganito yung mga trap question sa part 2. Itatrap kayo ng ganitong klase. So the examiner or the PRBRS deliberately tests this reporting concept kasi ang daming lumabas. Yung isang reviewin namin, si Marlon Hernandez, nakaka-take lang yan ng board exam sa Singapore last May 31. So ang result niya ay May 6. Ngayong May 6 Monday, baka Monday. 6 or 7 ang result ng Singapore. Kinabi niya sa akin, sir, ang dami pong lumabas sa concept of reporting. So sinabi ko na sa inyo ngayon to kasi madami pong lumabas sa concept ng reporting. Tapos, ang mga lumabas po sa REIT or sa Real Estate Investment Trust 985, RA 9856, puro siya scenario na lumabas. Tapos, aalamin mo kung ano yung mga percentage ng mga share. Yun. So, kaya ako sinasabi sa inyo, yung lumabas nitong recent lang, May 31 board exam sa SPLE na ginanap sa Singapore. So, senior sa amin ni Marlon na ganito yung maraming lumabas sa concept ng reporting. Kasi nga, the PRBRS or the examiner deliberately test this reporting concept kung paano kayo gumawa. Kasi 'di ba, maraming lumabas before na ang appraisal daw ay magkakaroon ng revalida. So, parang hindi siya natuloy this year na magkaroon ng revalida. So ang ginawa nila, in my own perception, gumawa sila ng test, this kind of test reporting concept. Kaya ang daming lumabas ng reporting concept. That's why I share to you this kind of final coaching para maalala ninyo ano ba yung mga ibang klase ng reporting concept. Hindi ko lang nabasa yung 7 process of valuation process, but I need to know what is it all about, and that is we will discuss later. Okay? Para mas maintindihan natin. Kasi ito yung ginawa ng PRBRES this year in the SPLE examination sa nangyari sa Singapore. And hopefully we are praying that Marlon, one of the reviewists ng OREP, makuha niya ang red pin. Okay? Ngayong Monday na yata ang result. 'Di ba? Imagine, nag-take ng May 31, tapos ang result ngayong July 7. So parang kami nag-take kami ng June 1 kami nag-take dito sa Saudi Arabia. Nakuha naman yung result ay July na. So July 1, ganun. Okay. No, June 8 kami nag-exam, July 1 namin nakuha yung result. So yun, it's a good kasi that time June 30 birthday ko, so parang is a good birthday gift kasi nakapasa ako ng REA exam. So yun yan. So nakuha natin guys yung mga concept na ganito na very important. So the next one that I'm going to discuss to you is this one. Guys, ang daming pumapasok sa sa pakisabi ko nakapasok sila kasi hindi ko nakikita. Ang nag-a-appear wait lang. Okay, pakisabi lang ha, kasi hindi ko makita. Okay, for this scenario, yung mga trap question about the facts control, the answer, and not the habit. So, for this scenario, ng mga trap question by the examiner, facts control the answer and not the habit. So, read the facts twice. Most trap examinations are hidden in the one line. So, boarded questions often include limiting facts like yung age of the building, purpose of the appraisal, the availability of data. Missing one line leads to choosing an otherwise correct looking. So parang akala mo tama na siya pero hindi pala. So answer that technically wrong. So kailangan nating yung critical thinking natin paganahin natin. Like for this question, ang sabi niya, an appraiser is asked to determine the value of 25-year-old commercial building. Take note, commercial building to be used for bank loan evaluation. So given yung facts, okay, the building fully unoccupied, no rental income data available. So the question here is, which valuation approach should be given primary consideration? What's the correct answer for this in your own perception? Given the facts control, the answer, and not the habit. Okay, so maraming matatrap sa question na to, di ba? Kasi usually iba yung magiging sagot nila. But to give you the correct answer for this question is letter C. Usually, the examiner or the PRBRES explain on this kind of question, the mga trap question. Although the property is commercial, di ba, commercial siya, the controlling fact here is show that it's owner occupied with no income data. Yun yung controlling fact. Parang naisip mo agad na parang kasi nga commercial on the first glance of the question na nakita mo, parang income producing to kasi commercial without knowing na ito ay owner occupied with no income data available. So that's why you need to analyze the question, read the question twice, and carefully analyze. Kasi mahirap magsisi sa huli na isang point lang nakatapuan ka sa apat. Kaso nag-top 2 ka na hindi mo siya na-analyze, di ba? So, bakit mali yung income capitalization approach? Kasi sabi niya commercial. So, this option looks correct at the first glance because the property is commercial but it ignore niya yung the critical fact that there is no income data exists. So, tandaan ninyo yung controlling fact na yan. 'Di ba? Ang galing, parang wow, pagkabasa ko income na to, hindi ko tinapos. Ay, hindi ko pala nabasa yung no income tapos siya, 'di ba? Owner occupied pa siya. So how about letter B, cost approach? The age alone does not make the cost approach dominant. with a reliable comparable sales available, market behavior carries more weight. So, even yung letter D, all three approaches equal weight. Tama ba yun? Which is not. This is a very classic board trap examination. Equal weighing disregards the data, relevance, and professional judgment. So, the only thing that you have to consider in this kind of question na ma-encounter ninyo, hindi man ganyan yung binigay na question talaga, medyo relevant lang sa ganyan. The exam does not reward the habit, so it rewards the attention to facts. Okay? It rewards the attention to facts. So, miss one line and the correct looking, the answer become disaster. Okay? So, be careful. Huwag magmadali. Inhale, exhale during the examination. If your mind is really parang exhausted, guys, may tubig, pwede kayo uminom. Magbaon kayo ng chocolate. Kasi ang dala ko that time is, yan, sneakers lang, water, yon. Tapos, ayan, banana kasi nga, pero kailangan natin ng ng potassium, baka medyo, medyo nahihilo na tayo, ganyan. Okay? Gayahin nyo si Engineer Pence, nagbaon ng isang thermos na kape. So, ganun lang naman. Ganun. Okay? So, naintindihan po ba natin yung paki-thumbs up nga if you are listening, guys, paki-thumbs up. Baka nagsasalita ako dito. Okay, naintindihan po ba natin? Okay, so maraming salamat. So yan yung pakatandaan natin ha. Huwag tayo agad basta-basta sasagot ng hindi natin naiintindihan. Okay? So next. Here, the test exam logic is under pressure all the time. So the board is not asking what do you remember, but how do you think? Hindi naman sasabihin ko ano ba yung naalala mo eh. Hindi, ano ba yung naalala mo kapag example, isip pa ng isip, kahit hindi ko tadaanan, ang sakit na eh. Ang sakit na sa utak. Kung hindi mo naalala siya, so dwell on how do you think the question. Palawakin pa natin. Elaborate natin siya. And ang ginagawa ko before, word per word ako, yung pen ko, kasi diba, aalisin mo muna yung answer sheet kasi baka matatakan yon or maanuhan yon. So, ang ginagawa ko, word per word, gaganunin ko yan. Tapos guguhitan ko talaga siya, gaganunin ko talaga siya. Isa-isahin ko talaga yan. So, that's why, it is not about what do you remember, but how do you think. So, the examine is, who passed consistently, always apply the methodology. Ano yung methodology ng mga katulad yung mag-e-exam ng real estate appraiser. So number one is define. You need to analyze, apply, reconcile, and then conclude. So magkaroon kayo ng conclusion at the end. So you need to apply those methodology, and following those methodology, you will prosper. I am telling you, papasa kayo ng board exam. Baka nga mag-top notcher pa kayo. Okay? So always eliminate the wrong answers before choosing the right one. So one technically incorrect word can invalidate an entire option. So that's why words like always, only, automatically, average are classic red flags in appraisal exam. Hindi siya talaga katanggap-tanggap. Okay? Examiners use absolute terms to expose the weak conceptual understanding. Kasi mahina yung pangunawa mo eh. So ngayon, tinatrap ka ng examiner. So ngayon, since na alam mo siya, nadaanan mo siya, alam mo yung concept, alam mo yung context na hinihingi ng question, sorry si examiner, nakayanan natin. So ganun yung ating mindset. You are not an examining. You are the examiner. Ganun ka mag-isip. Diba? Kasi ang mga examiner, nag-aaral din yan eh. Pinag-aaralan nila kung ano yung mga dapat gawin. Kasi hindi naman yun, alam mo yun, hindi naman sila yung kataas-taasan na paano mag-isip. So pare-parehas lang din yan. Kung parang lalaruin lang yung mind ninyo, lalaruin lang siya, pero naando naman eh. Naando yung tamang sagot, hindi mo lang siya mahuli kung ano yung hinihingi kasi nagmamadali ka, di ba? So, which is very wrong. May iba dyan, parang 2 hours pa lang, tapos na-send na niya. So, yun. Baka siguro yung mga gifted sila. Yung mga matalinong sobrang, kumbaga sabi niya, if you really want to be a top notcher, so you need to eat the book. Parang yan yung mga sinasabi sa amin. So here, okay, so alam na po natin yan na, so wag tayo masyadong nagmamadali, you need to think of it. So okay po ba yan? So hopefully okay siya. Now let's now proceed to our